guys. Today we're going to be talking about the Atlanta Falcons. I usually don't talk about them a lot because I'm not a Falcons fan. So before we get into today's video, don't get pressed if I talk good about the Falcons and not about your team and saying I'm a Falcons fan. And before we get started, like I said, I'm a Cowboys fan. So this is a completely different perspective. This is no bias towards the Atlanta Falcons. So let's get right into it. Like I said, we're going to be talking about the Atlanta Falcons. The question for today's video is, will they make the playoffs in 2020? And I honestly think they will. I made a video back in March or April that my bold prediction for 2020 is the Saints will make the playoffs. Got a lot of hate because usually the Saints have a streak where they suck, they add talent, they're good for a couple years, then they drop off because the division around them gets better like in previous years. For example, people say they added this and that, but in my eyes, the Saints did not get much better, if better at all. They replaced Ted Ginn, who was their number 2, who was fast and injured, and replaced him with Emmanuel Sanders, who's a veteran, who's fast and injured. To me, that didn't make them better. And Alvin Kamara dealt with injuries. I get it. Their offensive line is getting older, dealing with injuries themselves. Drew Brees, obviously, isn't the same quarterback he was 3-4 years ago. And even though he had a really good year last year, I don't know how he's going to double that or have another season like that. And the same with Michael Thomas, the slant king himself. Anybody can run a slant. Everyone says, why don't they game plan it? Well, other teams, good defenses, don't play the Saints because you have the Panthers, the Falcons, and the Buccaneers in that division. That's 6 games. So, if you know so much about football, then why don't you create a game plan? That's what I say. So I say the slant king. The defense really isn't the best. And I do say Marshawn Lattimore is one of the most underrated players in the entire league. But other than that, there's nobody. People say Cam Jordan. I think he is one of the most overrated players. Same with Mario Davis. And just that front 7 in general is overrated. The only person I think is hated too much is Kiko Alonso. He's a decent rotational linebacker on the weak side. But anyway, instead of talking about the Saints, let's talk about the Falcons. That's today's video. Obviously, they did not get much better, but they are healthy. Obviously, Matt Ryan and Julio Jones are still going to be there. They still have a lot of depth on that offense, and the offensive line still isn't the greatest, but they added Todd Gurley. Don't forget Calvin Ridley, who's going to be the number 2. They lost Mohamed Sanu and got a second-round pick in return. They lost Austin Hooper, who was injured a lot last year and didn't have the same year he did in 2018, but replaced him with Hayden Hurst from the Ravens, who knows a decent offense. Like I said, decent, I mean the best offense in football, with Lamar Jackson running that 3 tight end set, which the Falcons don't run a lot or never have ran because they have out Austin Hooper. And he will replace him and be a catch-heavy tight end, a little bit of blocking, more of a receiver. So in that perspective, I think that is a very big deal for the Falcons to have a tight end that is going from a 3 tight end set to a 1 tight end set, getting the ball more, and other defenses haven't really seen him play like they've seen Julio Jones and all those guys like Todd Gurley who've been in high-powered offense. I think Todd Gurley will be fine and will be ready to go going into his prime with the Atlanta Falcons. And that defense have just been so tampered with injuries. The guys like Keanu Neal, who hasn't played a full season forever, and he's one of the best safeties in the league when he is healthy. And the rest of that defense, like Deion Jones, probably a top 5 linebacker, but we've never seen him healthy. That pass rush, like Vic Beasley, he had that one good year in 2016. He's with the Titans now, but they still got a very, very powerful front 4. If Takk McKinley can finally break out, then that is a top 10 defense. Obviously, the questions with Quinn as their head coach, running that defense as a defensive-minded head coach. Obviously, he was in the hot seat a lot of last year and most of 2018 as well. But with the division surrounding them, the Buccaneers are probably going to win the division. The Saints will probably go in 3rd. But I do think the Falcons do have a chance to make that wild card. I'm not saying the Falcons are going to win the division, but like I said earlier in the video and a past video, I really do think the Saints will miss out on the playoffs. I don't think the Panthers and Teddy Bridgewater are going to work out. I honestly think Teddy Bridgewater is so overrated. As much as I love the story, I don't love the player. And when you talk even more about the culture change in Atlanta, it's a whole different regime down there. A lot of coaching staff changes were made, so Quinn don't get fired. Make it seem like he wasn't the problem. And other than that, Matt Ryan has had MVP caliber seasons the past 2 years, and it's really gone unnoticed. It's not like Matt Ryan is the reason why they're losing. He's played phenomenal. At the end of the day, it's the defense. The Falcons put up 30 points, and their defense is giving up 40. So that defense healthy, this team is at least 10-6. So like I said, even though they are in a tough NFC, I still think they could find a way to sneak their way into the playoffs, especially with the extended playoffs. But let me know what you guys think in the comments below, and just leave a comment in general. If you don't want to subscribe, like the video. These videos do take a little bit of time to edit. My other videos where I do gameplay and clips in the video, they take a lot longer, but today was just a sit-down talk video about the Atlanta Falcons. So if you guys want more football content, subscribe, leave a like I said a little bit ago, and if you don't feel like it, at least comment something positive. I get a lot of negative comments because people just got something to say. So thank you guys so much for watching. I'm out. Peace.